Alright, so Assalamualaikum, good evening semua. As for today, we're going to begin our final chapter. However, the final chapter is divided into two parts. But the two part is not very, both parts are not very long lah. Yeah, it's about 20 something slides. So I think I'm going to emphasize what are the important points for the chapter. Okay. So as you can see now, for the first part, which is system implementation. Kalau kita tengok balik kita punya fasa ya, information engineering tu, information system engineering, we are at the towards the end of the project, where we have already done the planning, we already done the requirement engineering. Ya, kita dah siap daripada dah siap requirement, dah siap specification. Usually we call it requirement and specification phase, and we also finish our analysis phase, and we finish our design phase. Now from design phase, when we have all of the designs and templates and coding, now the implementation parts. Okay, so what we're going to look is for today, we're going to look at the implementation and support activities, approach to system development, types of software test. Dalam software, dalam fasa implementation, software testing is very, very important, very, very crucial. Okay, and then approaches to data conversion and system installation. So software testing dengan data conversion ni kalau macam soalan-soalan final final assessment, dia suka tanya untuk chapter ni lah, ya. 10.1 bahagian 10.1. Okay, so implement activities for the overview for this phase. The implementation activities occurs, kita laksanakan implementation activities ni sebelum kita serah kepada user. Maksudnya pada peringkat ini coding semua kita dah develop lah, kita dah develop, kita fasa development lah, implementation ni kita nak dah develop tu kita nak transfer before turn over to user. Tapi ada beberapa perkara kita kena lakukan. Okay, kalau dikata kat sini, implementation used to consume more time and resources than other phases of the SDLC. Implementation and maintenance phase adalah portion cost yang paling banyak dalam satu-satu project. Okay, that is implementation activities. Okay, support activities untuk fasa implementation. Okay, support activities occurs after system becomes operational and may continue for years. Maksudnya lepas kita buat serahan, lepas tu apakah aktiviti yang kita kena support untuk user. Okay, so support activity ni sangat diperlukan supaya the system running productively throughout the years. Selagi mana dia relevant. Sistem ni pun macam hardware jugalah. Ada satu tempoh perubahan berlaku, maka ia perlu ditambah baik. Dia perlu di-upgrade. So until that phase, it must be supported with its support activities. Okay. So kalau dalam gambar rajah ni dia menunjukkan bahawa dalam implementation activities, we have construct software components, the programming part lah, detailed programming part, verify and test, verify through specification and testing to check for errors. Error kat mana, logic error ke, syntax error ke, apa lagi yang kamu belajar tentang error? Syntax error tu basically coding, mistype, typo error, logic error tu something that it derives something that you are not expected. So benda ni yang kita kena verifykan. Or sometimes maybe kita tengok dari segi throughputs, the running testing time. So basically performance tests, we'll talk about performance tests as well. And then the next activity is convert data. So sometimes when we do testing, the data is not probably not 100% accurate. Probably it's about a rate of 80% contohnya. But now you want to use the bila you nak maksudnya data daripada pengguna tu is actually the real data yang kita nak pakai. Okay, so mesti kena ada conversion process lah. Yeah. And then of course kita kena buat latihan, training and support documents such as user manual. Macam-macam lagi jenis dokumen ya. And then we do the system installation. Dah install pun kena buat system testing. What types of testing? Contohnya kita ada integration testing. So dekat fasa ni kita extensively banyak pada testing activity and verification. And then kita ada support activities. Support activity ni termasuk maintenance and maintain the system. Enhance the system and support user. Support user ni bila kita ada help desk. Ialah support officer. Sekiranya user ada problem, dia akan contact officer yang in charge for that project. Yeah. So antara job specification kan, antara peluang-peluang pekerjaan yang boleh kamu ceburi, satunya pertama sekali ialah junior programmer. Programmer first kalau pelajar CS 230, 264, usually dia akan jadi web developer, junior web developer ataupun junior programmer. So bila junior programmer dia akan banyak aktiviti di sini. Tapi after sometimes, lepas jadi junior programmer, dia akan jadi senior programmer. And then bila jadi senior programmer, dia akan jadi system analyst. Bila system analyst, baru you bergulumang pada peringkat yang ini. So antara job spec system analyst juga dia menguruskan project. Dia juga boleh jadi project manager. So dia kena buat bahagian planning. Right? Tapi after sometimes you dah pening dengan coding after 10-15 years, probably nak fokus dekat testing saja pun boleh. Itu pun another job spec. Tapi of course lah dia punya level tu lagi dia fokus tak extensive programming, tapi pengalaman sebagai programmer tu memang kena ada. Basic pengalaman sebagai programmer ataupun web developer yang bergelumang dengan coding tu, memang itu dia punya initial journey in the professions. So kalau kata nak lari pada programming tu sebenarnya belum boleh lagi lah unless pergi ke bidang yang betul-betul bukan teknikal lah. Ataupun bila dah tak nak buat testing, you boleh pergi ke bahagian maintenance and support system. Alright, yang ini implementation phase menunjukkan traditional methods. Saya tak nak fokus sangat banyak yang ni sebab dia repetitif. So yang selalu kita tengok ialah kalau macam SDLC tu is a structured development. Kita banyak fokus dekat sini. Okay. So structure tu kalau macam waterfall dia memang ikut hierarchy. Dia bukan ikut hierarchy, dia ikut sequence. Okay. So tapi yang dikatakan sebagai hierarchy tu ialah bila mana kamu structure kamu punya components tu mengikut dia punya segregation dia, pembahagian dia. So that's why masa kamu belajar part 3 kamu belajar tentang part 2 belajar tentang sistem development ISP551 tak silap saya. Okay. Bukan database kan? 451 bukan database. System development, IS system development. And then kamu belajar ISP531. This is actually how you construct you punya domain of your system punya organization. How you organize your main process dengan its functions and its menu. Okay. So pembahagian tu hierarchy yang dikatakan tadi tu ialah hierarchy of programs and modules. Okay, yang mana menggunakan struktur itu sebagai guidance throughout the analysis process, design process and coding process, programming process. Okay, so that's why kita ada component diagram and package diagram. So ia menunjukkan level hierarchy tersebut. Kalau dalam object oriented lah. Okay, structured programming procedures produce a program that has one beginning and one ending, and which each step in the program execution consists of these three programming construct. Is a sequence program statements, a decision point at which one set or another set of documents executes, repetitions of sets of statement. Yang ni siapa yang biasa pakai C++ ni memang inilah dia punya structure. Siapa yang pakai C++ banyak, di mana you ada function, you call functions, and probably from function, dalam functions tu ada functions and so on so forth. Okay. Top-down programming ni lebih banyak kepada skop yang lebih besar. Maksudnya dia punya boundaries tu lebih besar dan probably cross beberapa domain. Why? Because it could support more complex punya it could be for more complex. It's for more complex, yang mana you arrange according to dia punya domain ataupun function. So banyak modul lah supaya maintenance dekat satu modul tu tidak effect pada modul yang lain. For example, you nak maintain modul 3, the process of maintaining, upgrading of module 3 would not affect the other modules. OOP, OOA, this is what we learn through ISE, Information System Engineering, through these codes, yang mana dia mesti melalui 3 proses ni, OOA, OOG dan OOP. But OOP kamu belajar dulu kamu belajar dulu masa part 2, lepas kamu belajar C++. So actually you can use OOP as the coding type, as the coding. But then untuk buat system development, you kena tahu or you kena apply object-oriented design dengan object-oriented analysis. So kalau kamu pakai object-oriented application, kamu tak perlu dah guna approach structured. Structured approach ataupun traditional. Kita nak untuk system development ni, kita cuma pakai satu approach sahaja. Sama ada sebenarnya lazim kita pakai structured, tapi yang OOA, OOP ni pun salah satu approach dalam system development. Kalau you kata SDLC pakai apa? You boleh pakai object oriented. Tapi dia bergantung kepada working culture of certain software house. Certain software house dia tak pakai pun object oriented fully. Dia tak pakai fully object oriented. So bergantung jugalah pada working culture sesuatu organisation. Katakanlah lepas ni kamu nak pergi intern kan, dalam di software house mana-mana, so you have to look at the working culture first. Which types of language yang dipakai. Kalau object oriented ni, object oriented analysis dan object oriented design, sama juga dengan konsep object oriented programming, yang mana kita tengok dia apa object dia, apa features of the object, apa function of the object. Features tu maksud saya properties lah. Apa properties of the object dan apa functions of the project. So that project owned by who ataupun execute by who. So the who is the actor. So itu konsep dia. So the mindset orang yang pakai object oriented ni memang berbeza dengan structured. Kalau nak yang lagi pantas, object oriented pun dah kira pantas tu. Another yang lagi pantas, kita ada agile development. So agile development ni is salah satu approach yang paling common nowadays lah, sebab dia very fast, dan yang antara kriteria yang paling penting sekali ialah user involvement. user, kalau macam kita belajar contoh yang sebelum ni, user involvement berada di fasa requirement. Okay. Dan bila fasa analysis and design tu mungkin ada involvement tetapi secara formal. Maksudnya mungkin setakat presentation, okay. Dia very formal involvement, which is the involvement tu tak fully engage. Tapi kalau agile ni, the engagement dengan user tu sangat-sangat banyak. Mungkin direct, mungkin secara terus dengan user. Okay. Sebab apa dia nak cater flexibility and fast changing of the requirement tu. So that's why siapa yang pakai agile ni, dia tak fikir pasal documentation. Documentation tu dia tak consider documentation dia tu memang tak cantik lah. You tak boleh nak cakap, you tak boleh nak minta document requirements se-structured SDLC yang lain. Contohnya waterfall ke kalau you pakai kan. Why? Because dia memang fokus banyak pada coding. So the cycle tu very fast. The changes tu yang kita panggil dia punya agile engine, ataupun kalau contohnya dalam Scrum SCRUM methodology, dia punya engine tu sangat cepat. It's just take days or weeks to finish satu modul katakan, rather than it'll take months yang selalunya approach lain ambil. Okay, so untuk agile development ni, there are 4 basic values. The value responding to change over following a plan. So meaning, kalau banyak approach sebelum ni, where the sequence memang follow flat plan, apa yang kita dah rancang pada peringkat awal, sebab dia tight dengan cost, dia tight dengan budget. Kalau structured lah, contohnya waterfall, spiral pun, repetitive style pun, dia banyak ikut plan. Dia kena ikut plan sebab dia banyak constraint dengan budget, cost. Sebab apa tahu? Sebab dia ni sequence. So kalau delay lagi tambah cost. Tapi agile very fast. It is in a matter of days untuk siapkan coding. So jadinya dia dah tak banyak bergantung pada cost. So they can change the plan a lot based on the changes requirement. So that's how they can work faster. Sebab apa? Sebab dia banyak guna code reuse. Dia orang banyak guna code reuse. And then second value individuals and interaction. Yang ini you kena ingat sikit lah kot. Saya rasa kot, it's antara soalan yang suka ditanya lah. Value individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Maksudnya selalunya dia akan direct minta user requirement involve dalam discussion. Termasuklah discussion for analysis and design. Value working software over comprehensive documentation. So it more on how to use the coding and probably assisted tools for the coding rather than proper documentation. Holistic documentation. So dia tak berapa focus on documentation. Then the final values is value customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So dia akan collaborate dengan user lah. So that's why the participation and engagement dengan user tu sangat-sangat extensive. Okay. Yang ini agile modeling principle. Antaranya develop software as your primary goal. Enable the next effort as your secondary goal. Enable the next effort as your secondary goal. Okay, minimize your modeling activity. Keep it simple. Embrace change and change incrementally. Change incrementally tu maksud the changes is going to be very, very frequent. A model with a purpose. Build multiple models. So that's why they can able to somehow use the code again and again. Build high quality models and get feedback rapidly. Focus on content rather than representation. learn from each other with open communication. Lagi satu agile punya konsep ni ialah dia suka sekurang-kurangnya pairing programmers. Programmers tu dia selalu work in pairs. So they will work in pairs or they will work in the small team. Hence, they will always discuss together on how to solve the problem or how to achieve what the user want for the project. Know your models and how to use them. Adapt specific project needs. So that's why they move very fast because of their quick to adapt and manage change well. Okay, so itu adalah perbezaan antara structured. Tadi kita ada traditional, structured, lepas tu object oriented, lepas tu agile. Now we look at that is method for ataupun approach for implementation. Kalau you pakai OOP, secantiknya you pakai OOD dengan OOA juga. Secantiknya lah. Kalau kau pakai structured programming, then seeloknya gunalah SDLC yang support structured approach. Kalau pakai agile, pakailah methodology yang support agile. So the correct term is methodology. Okay. So the next phase is testing phase. Testing phase ni is a very important phase. Sebab apa? Kita nak make sure that system itu adalah tepatnya accurate, betul, accurate dan juga betul, correct, right, the right one. Why? Because kalau tak nanti akan ada isu yang menyusul sepertinya performance ataupun durability. Dia tak boleh nak sustain kalau tak buat testing. Ataupun even worse, user menolak sistem tersebut, rejection. Kalau tak buat testing. Agak-agaknya yang berlaku di yang kesesakan sebabkan RFID tu mungkin tak proper testing. Mungkin dari segi volume yang banyak tu dia tak boleh nak catch. Kalau volume sikit mungkin dia boleh. So semua senario untuk testing tu kita kena cater. So supaya supaya nanti tak ada penambahan dari segi cost, penambahan dari segi masa, delay dalam proses nak menggunakan sistem tersebut. Okay. So testing is the process of examining a component, subsystem or system to determine its operational characteristic and whether it contains any defects. So kita kalau boleh tak nak ada error. Error tu termasuklah defects dan inaccuracy. So we have types of testings and basically we have 3 types of testing, which are inspection, walkthrough and desk checking. So apa beza dia? Inspection is a technique which participants examine program code for predictable language specific errors. Inspection ni mesti kena buat. Sebab kalau ada banyak errors, it shows the quality of the service. Sebab software houses kita sebagai service provider ni, kita kena make sure that the quality service tu is because we're doing business kan, sebab semualah kita boleh cakap bahawa any system or software development dia dalam bentuk projek. So dalam bentuk projek dia mesti bergantung kepada quality of work. Certain company kalau kita tak maintain error, so it shows the quality of the service of the software house. Mungkin lepas ni trust, client tak trust company tu lagi dah. So that's tak boleh nak sustain business. Sebab kita semua contract based kan. Project based, contract based. Kalau project based, definitely lah contract based. Okay. The second types of testing, walkthrough, is a peer group review. Of course, experience lah, yeah. Put experience, review, people that able to review any product created during the system development process. Is also called a structured walkthrough. The third type is desk checking. Desk checking is a technique, yeah, in which the program code is sequentially executed manually by the reviewer. So reviewer to check manually, then that's checking. Okay, so it depends on the suitability, on the types of system, suitability of testing on the types of system. Okay, kita kena tengoklah dia punya sizes. Okay, but inspection is definitely inspection is probably most common. Tapi kalau walkthrough ni depends kepada types of software yang kita bangunkan. Okay. Okay. Dalam test phase ni, yang paling mesti kena ada ialah test cases. Alright, hatta you punya FYP nanti pun besok kena buat test cases. Alright, kena buat test cases. So test cases ni paling basic lah. Dan kamu kena tahu sebab dalam FYP pun nanti kita dah nak kena start practice guna test cases. Cuma dalam projek ni saya belum, saya rasa saya tak pasti dalam projek saya suruh buat test cases ke tidak. Kalau tak ada saya kena tambah buat test cases. Tak banyak lah, at least kena ada few test cases supaya you able to use test cases nanti. Paling terdekat ni ialah nanti later on untuk FYP. Memang kena tahu test cases. Okay, so test cases is a important part of testing. With that is specifying test cases and test data. Okay, a test case is a formal description. Yang kita panggil formal description tu adalah yang ni lah, template ni, jadual ni. Dia mesti very clear, dan dia ada standard dia. Okay, a test case is a formal descriptions of starting state, events to which software responds, expected response or ending states. So kita kena clear bab ni. So dalam projek nanti be clear lah function apa yang sesuai untuk kamu gunakan dan support dengan test case. Test cases. Next, analysis phase documentation is useful in preparing test case. So daripada peringkat awal lagi kita dah boleh identify apa test cases yang akan kita provide. Okay. So kat fasa mana? Fasa analisis lagi kita dah boleh identify test cases. So daripada mana? Daripada use case. Daripada use case yang kita ada masa kita buat use case diagram, that use cases tu kita refer sebagai the potential use test cases. Okay. Alright, so test data is also important sebab most of the time your system mesti ada database. So test data is very very crucial supaya it's accurate. Apa-apa formulation, derivation yang kita nak hasilkan dalam sistem kita tu is actually is as what as expected, yang kita jangkakan, bukan yang di luar jangka, yang dijangkakan. So these are the template dia, test case template. Okay, so kat sini kita ada project name. I'm not sure you nampak ke tidak, tapi nanti slide ni tak apalah, saya bagi test cases ID, test priority, whether it's low, medium or high, and so on and so forth. Okay, so dia ada standard dia. So these are the standards. So the next is continue with the testing types. Okay, yang tadi tu more on approach, more on approach lah. So this is testing to be specific. We have unit testing, we have integration, dan kita ada sambung lagi. Yang ini kena ingat sikit. Test case tadi kena ingat, yang ini pun kena ingat sikit. Unit testing, apakah itu unit testing? Usually unit testing is antara um, the programmers dengan coding dia. And dan the coding dia tu maksudnya dalam modul yang dibangunkan, dan komponen yang dibangunkan. Okay. Test individual modules or codes or methods before integrating with other software. Okay. So driver is a method or class developed for unit testing that simulates the behavior of a method that sends message to the method being tested. So unit dalam katakanlah dalam sistem kamu tu ada 3 modules. So each modules tu kena tested. Okay. Must be tested. Ketiga-tiganya. Then baru kamu consider unit testing. So apa nak gunakan while doing the unit testing is the test case. So test case actually banyak lah sebenarnya. Kalau kamu bangunkan sistem. Contoh untuk FYP pun banyak test cases. So sebelum test cases tu, template-template yang kamu ada tu, kamu kena senaraikan apa possible test cases. Itu actually banyak lah. So, kalau FYP pun setakat 20 something kan, itu consider sikit lah. 20 something test cases. Paling sikit pun 15 lah test cases. Kalau FYP lah. So dalam project nanti saya nak tengok sekurang-kurangnya 3 test case kena ada. Sebab nak practice benda tu. The second is integration testing. So integration testing ni dia lebih besar sikit lah scope dia. Kalau tadi tu unit testing, dia according within the boundaries of the scope of the system, of the software. Integration testing where dia dah start tengok the behavior of a group of methods or classes or component, to test both normal processing and exception, termasuklah interface incompatibility, incorrect parameter values, runtime exception, unexpected states, interactions. So antara sebab kita unexpected state interactions ni ialah bila mana kita tak dapat nak capture senario sewaktu kita develop sequence diagram. Sepatutnya kita dah boleh expected the state interactions bila mana kita capture sequence diagram tu, kita dah capture setiap senario, possible senario yang boleh berlaku pada sistem tu bila satu-satu modul dilaksanakan. Maka bila ia tak dijangka, so itu bahagian integration testing. Okay, usability testing ni pula, we call it usability testing is a test to determine whether a module, method, class, subsystem or system meets user requirement. Okay. Bila meet user requirement, so maka kita kena bawa ianya kepada user. We're going to request the user to try to use the system. Why? Because the variable yang kita nak lihat masa usability testing ni banyaknya based on ease of use. So kalau nak tengok ease of use ni memang kena minta user yang gunakan, user yang testing kan. Kita kena minta involvement user lah maksudnya. So antara test yang kita sebut ataupun common test dalam fasa usability testing ni ialah user acceptance test. So dalam tu banyaklah variable lagi yang kita test. Ease of use, lagi apa? Navigation, dia punya variables lah. Lagi apa? Satisfaction, ease of use, lagi apa user, banyak lagi dia. Kalau dalam IEEE tu dia ada banyak types of variables yang kita boleh test pada user during user acceptance test. Okay, So dalam untuk FYP kamu pun kamu kena buat user acceptance test ni. So cuma dalam peringkat kelas ni kita tak buatlah user acceptance test. Okay. Then kita ada system testing. This is the second last. Tadi kita ada unit testing, integration testing, usability testing and system testing. Saya rasa yang ni kamu boleh refer Tilly juga. Cuma saya tak ingat dalam chapter mana, but I think you can look for testing chapter lah ya, implementation chapter. Okay, so system testing ni bila mana dia the integration test tu it completes the entire system. Yeah? The entire system. Alright. So you kena bagi duration lah. You kena bagi duration untuk system testing. Bukan setakat seminggu, bukan setakat sehari dua. It probably take about, dia ada fasa dia. It take about minimum few days up until months. Dia ada fasa dia. Supaya dalam proses tu kita boleh tahu, kita boleh learn kalau take lesson learned in which how the system behave throughout the duration of the system testing. Okay. Itu secara general lah. Okay. So performance testing is the fifth testing, the fifth types of testing. So performance testing ni pun semua testing ni kita kena execute sebenarnya kalau kita dalam sistem development bila mana kita nak serahkan sebab ada fasa tu, fasa implementation testing, ada fasa penyerahan serah kepada user testing. So benda ni kelima-lima testing ni kena lakukan. Okay. So performance test ni sangat penting sebab mana it's also called as a stress test, yang mana sistem atau proses sistem can meet such time-based performance criteria has response time or throughput. Okay, so dia performance test checks time-based requirements such as response time. Response time tu the desire or maximum allowable time limit for software respond to a query or update. So dia ada standard dia berapa lama response time for a good system. 3 seconds or below than that. Kalau lebih, next 5 seconds for medium non-peak hours 5 seconds ataupun non-peak hours 3 seconds, peak hours 5 seconds. If it is more 10 seconds, kalau lebih pada 10 seconds then it is berat lah kita panggil need check. Throughput, the desire or minimum numbers of queries and transactions that can be processed in per minute or hour. Berapa banyak kita boleh proses dalam masa 1 minit. 60,000 queries or 10,000 queries or 20,000 queries. So depends kepada amounts of users and how many of them accessibilities lah accessibilities issues. So that's why kalau dalam sistem yang besar ni memang dia kena test peak hours and non-peak hours. Yang tadi tu you kena ingat sikit lah bahagian testing Jadi kita tanya test case tu apa, types of testing tu apa Now dalam lepas kita fase implementation and testing, kita dah masuk deployment phase. Selalunya kalau dalam SDLC deployment phase ni hidden. Kita tak sebutlah deployment phase sangat. Tapi sebenarnya dia adalah satu fasa deployment phase. Yang mana dia banyak based on dalam proses kita nak deploy, nak menggunakan dalam konteks dan environment user. Dalam konteks dan environment user, we call it installation. Proses installation lah. Proses installation, after development and testing, system must be put into operation. So dalam operation ni pun ada fasa testing dia lagi. And then, kita dah full installation, kita maintain, kita lihat the any error ke, any anomalies happens during that time. Okay. So important planning consideration, kita kena fikir cost of operating both systems in parallels. Sistem lama dan sistem baru, sebab kalau kita nak install sistem baru, kita masih lagi run sistem lama kan, dan proses transition tu nanti kita akan tengok. Sikit lagi ya rasanya. Okay, saya rasa sikit lagi. And then detecting and correcting errors in new system, potentially disrupting the company's and its operation, the IS operations or other IS operations that involves training personnel and customers with new procedures. Macam mana nak training, so dia masih lagi dalam fasa deployment. So kita kena bagi training, kita kena sediakan training module, kita kena sediakan user manual. Okay. Lepas installation, we have data conversion. So ini antara yang berlaku dalam deployment phase. Yeah. So data needed at system startup. So kita kena bukan setakat installation the program, but also the database as well. Okay. And the process data migration antara to new system and new place. Yeah. So it's or it can reuse the existing database, so the linkage of the communication between the new system dengan old database macam mana. So kita kena test juga benda tu lah. Okay. So reloading database content or creating new databases. So ini data conversion example. Okay, for example here we have old database, we have new database here. Okay, so what happened? We have old database and this is related subsystem database. So we have to copy and convert the data and bring it to the new database. And the database management system import utilities also to the new database. Kalau jenis related subsystem database, import yang berkaitan dengan sistem tersebut, okay, put into the temporary data store and bring it to the new database and so on and so forth. Okay. For the third part of the today's lecture, kita ada system changeover. System changeover ni dalam proses kita installation tadi kan. Dalam proses kita installation, kita ada activity what we call it system changeover, yang mana kita nak pindah daripada sistem lama ke sistem baru. So dalam proses nak pindah sistem tu, dia ada beberapa kaedah yang kita kena teliti lah. So kalau ikutkan sini, kita ada dalam 3 atau 4 kaedah dalam proses system changeover ni. So the first example is the direct cut over. Tapi ada beberapa kriteria lah yang kamu kena tengok dalam proses direct cut over ataupun mana-mana system change over ni. Satunya ialah dari segi cost, time supaya operational tu tak diganggu lah So cost, time, juga training for the user. So the direct cut over causes the changeover from old system to the new system occur immediately. To occur immediately. Now when the new system becomes operational. Usually this is the least expensive changeover methods because the IT group has to operate and maintain only one system at a time. So you also have to consider, macam tadi saya cakap, cost and time. Another factors is actually the size of the system, how big the system is. Then you have to decide which types of changeover technique yang you nak pakai, ataupun what types of cut over yang you nak pakai, whether it's direct or tak. Okay. So kalau small system in a matter of days, for example 2 days, 3 days, then you can use direct cut over. So usually you can do it at the non-operation day, contohnya weekend katakan. You take weekend to do the direct cut over. Then tak payah risaulah, the operation tak terganggu. Okay. Another type is parallel. Parallel changeover ataupun parallel operation. So at parallel requires that both the old and the new system operate at a specific period. So dia ada time je lah, dia bagi time. Ada satu masa dua sistem ini berjalan serentak. Okay. So obvious advantage of parallel operation is lower risk. So company can use the old system as a backup. However, disadvantage dia ialah most costly changeover methods. Sebab old system is running, new system is running as well. Okay. Depends kalau probably the size of the software is bigger or the system is bigger, so you cannot skip any operation days. Operation kena berlangsung dan use new system but support with all old system as well. So fasa yang ni actually user akan guna new system but old system pun akan guna. Next is the third one is pilot operation changeover. So pilot ni dia mungkin tak entirely berjalan serentak. New system are not entirely executed. Okay. The implementations of the complete new system at the selected location of the company. The old system continues to operate for the entire system, including the pilot site. Restricting the implementation to a pilot site reduces the risk of system failure. So yang ini concern kita lebih kepada system failure. So we can't afford to have system failure. Probably we have a real-time punya software that must on 24 hours every day. Okay. So this one is probably suitable. So less expensive than a parallel operations of the entire company. Still pilot operation considered to be less expensive rather than parallel operation. Tengok ada lagi tak? So basically tiga ni lah. So we have so factors that we have to look into selain pada cost, time. We also need risk. Yang ni kita ada risk and cost. Selain pada time, these two factors is risk and cost. So direct cut over ni consider high risk sebab kalau new system tu banyak masalah, then problem lah. Problem for operation, problem for business, user pun akan not happy, not satisfied kan. But cost is very low. Pilot operation dan phase operation dia berada di medium. Medium and slightly lower than medium for the risk. Parallel operation, the cost dia very high but it's low risk. Okay, so basically we learned today what are the implementation phase and its support activities. Fasa towards the end of the system development phase. Approach to system development, the types of software tests, and approach to data conversion, changeover and installation. Installation tu termasuk dalam changeover lah. Changeover tu termasuk dalam installation. So basically that is our topic for today. Alright. So untuk second part of the lecture, saya kalau dapat buat kita akan jumpa hari lecture minggu depan lah untuk 10.2 punya part. So I end the session for lecture here lah. So I will stop recording. So